In a three-way switch circuit, the neutral wire functions as the common conductor. This provides a path for current flow between the switches and the load, such as a light. Typically, it carries no current when the switches are either open or closed. The described circuit configuration using 14/2 wire for travelers instead of 14/3 is not typical, but it is not necessarily incorrect. However, using a neutral from a different circuit for the ceiling light is a code violation and creates a potential hazard. When grounded receptacles were installed, along with the GFCI at the first receptacle, the GFCI tripped. The reason the GFCI tripped is because the circuit was incorrectly wired with a neutral from a different circuit. This created a mismatch between the neutral and ground paths, which the GFCI detected as a ground fault. GFCIs are sensitive to current imbalances, and adding grounded receptacles altered the current flow, causing the GFCI to trip. To ensure correct wiring for a three-way switch circuit, follow these steps. Firstly, use 14/3 wire throughout the circuit. Provide one conductor for each traveler, one for the neutral, and one for the ground. Secondly, connect all neutral wires together at each switch and the load. Thirdly, connect all ground wires together at each receptacle, switch, and the load. Fourthly, use the GFCI protected receptacle only at the first receptacle on the circuit. To resolve the wiring issues, firstly disconnect the neutral from the different circuit. Secondly, run a new neutral wire from the panel to the kitchen ceiling light. Thirdly, use 14/3 wire for all travelers in the circuit. Fourthly, install a GFCI protected receptacle only at the first receptacle on the circuit. A GFCI, or ground fault circuit interrupter, is a safety device designed to protect people from electrical shock. It works by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit. If it detects an imbalance, meaning some of the current is leaking to ground, it quickly shuts off the power. This leakage is called a ground fault and can happen if someone touches a live wire or if there is a short circuit. GFCIs are commonly installed in areas where water is present, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor outlets. They are required by electrical codes in these locations to prevent electrical accidents. When a GFCI detects a ground fault, it trips, cutting off the power to the circuit. This happens very quickly, typically within a fraction of a second, minimizing the risk of electric shock. After a GFCI trips, it needs to be reset. This is done by pressing the reset button on the GFCI receptacle. If the GFCI trips repeatedly, it indicates a persistent ground fault that needs to be investigated and repaired by a qualified electrician. Understanding how a GFCI works is crucial for electrical safety. It is a vital component in protecting people from the dangers of electricity. It is important to test GFCIs regularly to ensure they are functioning correctly. This can be done by pressing the test button on the receptacle. If the GFCI trips, it is working. If it doesn't trip, it needs to be replaced. Electrical codes require GFCIs to be installed in specific locations to provide maximum safety. It is important to follow these codes to ensure electrical systems are safe and compliant. When working with electricity, it is always best to err on the side of caution. If unsure about something, consult a qualified electrician. The three-way switch circuit allows controlling a light from two different locations. This is commonly used in hallways, stairwells, and large rooms with multiple entrances. The typical wiring involves using 14/3 wire between the switches. This cable contains three conductors: a black wire, a red wire, and a white wire, plus a ground wire. The black and red wires are used as travelers, carrying the switching signal between the two switches. The white wire is used as the neutral wire. In a three-way switch circuit, the power from the breaker panel is connected to the common terminal of one of the switches. The other two terminals of that switch are connected to the traveler wires. At the other switch, the traveler wires are connected to the two terminals, and the common terminal of that switch is connected to the light fixture. The neutral wire is connected directly to the light fixture, providing a return path for the current. When either of the switches is flipped, it changes the path of the current, turning the light on or off. The key to the three-way switch circuit is the use of the traveler wires to carry the switching signal between the two switches. These wires allow either switch to control the light independently. When troubleshooting a three-way switch circuit, it is important to check the wiring at both switches. Make sure the wires are connected to the correct terminals and that there are no loose connections. Also, check the light bulb to make sure it is not burnt out. A common mistake in wiring a three-way switch circuit is to mix up the traveler wires. If the wires are not connected correctly, the light may not turn on or off properly. In some cases, it may even cause a short circuit. When replacing a three-way switch, it is important to label the wires before disconnecting them. This will help ensure that they are connected correctly to the new switch. If unsure about how to wire a three-way switch circuit, it is best to consult a qualified electrician. They can help ensure that the circuit is wired correctly and safely. When working with electricity, it is always important to take precautions to prevent electrical shock. Wear rubber gloves and eye protection. Turn off the power to the circuit before working on it. Using a neutral from a different circuit can cause several problems. Firstly, it can overload the neutral conductor. The neutral wire is designed to carry the unbalanced current from the circuit it serves. If it is also carrying current from another circuit, it can become overloaded, leading to overheating and potentially a fire. Secondly, it can create a voltage drop on the neutral conductor. This voltage drop can affect the performance of the equipment connected to the circuit, causing it to malfunction or fail. Thirdly, it can interfere with the operation of GFCIs. GFCIs are designed to detect imbalances in the current flowing through a circuit. If the neutral is carrying current from another circuit, it can create an imbalance that causes the GFCI to trip unnecessarily. Fourthly, it can create a shock hazard. If the neutral wire is disconnected, the equipment connected to the circuit may become energized, creating a risk of electrical shock. For these reasons, it is important to use the correct neutral wire for each circuit. Do not share neutral wires between different circuits. This is a code violation and can create a dangerous situation. The NEC, or National Electrical Code, is a set of standards for safe electrical installations. It is developed by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and is updated every 3 years. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It is used by electricians, inspectors, and other electrical professionals to ensure that electrical systems are safe and compliant. The NEC is not a law itself, but it is often adopted by state and local governments as part of their building codes. This means that electrical installations must comply with the NEC in order to be approved. The NEC is a complex and detailed document. It is important to have a thorough understanding of the code in order to design and install electrical systems safely. The NEC is divided into chapters, articles, and sections. Each section covers a specific topic related to electrical installations. For example, Article 210 covers branch circuits, and Article 250 covers grounding and bonding. The NEC also includes tables and examples to help clarify the requirements. These tables provide information such as conductor ampacity, conduit fill, and equipment grounding conductor size. The NEC is constantly evolving to keep up with new technologies and safety concerns. It is important to stay up to date on the latest changes to the code in order to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant. The NEC is a valuable resource for anyone involved in electrical installations. It provides the information needed to design and install electrical systems safely and in compliance with the law. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC for the most up-to-date information. The importance of proper grounding in electrical systems cannot be overstated. Grounding provides a safe path for fault current to return to the source, which helps to protect people and equipment from electrical shock and damage. A properly grounded electrical system will have a low impedance path to ground. This path allows fault current to flow quickly and safely back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or blowing a fuse to clear the fault. Without a proper ground, fault current can flow through unintended paths, such as through a person's body, which can cause serious injury or death. Grounding also helps to reduce electrical noise and interference. Electrical noise can disrupt the operation of sensitive electronic equipment, causing it to malfunction or fail. A properly grounded system can help to minimize electrical noise, improving the performance and reliability of electronic equipment. There are several different methods of grounding electrical systems. The most common method is to use a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe. The grounding electrode is connected to the electrical system with a grounding conductor, which is typically a bare copper wire. Another method of grounding is to use a building's metal frame as a grounding electrode. This is common in large commercial buildings. In this case, the metal frame is connected to the electrical system with the grounding conductor. It is important to ensure that the grounding system is properly installed and maintained. The grounding connections should be tight and corrosion-free. The grounding electrode should be buried deep enough to ensure that it is in contact with the earth at all times. Regular inspections should be performed to check the condition of the grounding system. Any damaged or corroded component should be replaced immediately. Proper grounding is an essential part of electrical safety. It helps to protect people and equipment from electrical shock and damage. It also helps to reduce electrical noise and interference. Always ensure that electrical systems are properly grounded. Using 14/3 wire for all travelers in a three-way switch circuit offers several advantages. Firstly, it provides a dedicated neutral conductor for the circuit. This ensures that the neutral wire is not shared with other circuits, which can prevent overloading and voltage drops. Secondly, it provides a dedicated ground conductor for the circuit. This helps to ensure that the circuit is properly grounded, which can protect people and equipment from electrical shock. Thirdly, it simplifies the wiring of the circuit. With 14/3 wire, each switch has its own set of conductors, making it easier to identify and connect the wires correctly. Fourthly, it meets the requirements of the NEC. The NEC requires that all circuits have a dedicated neutral and ground conductor. Using 14/3 wire ensures that the circuit complies with these requirements. When using 14/3 wire for a three-way switch circuit, the white wire is used as the neutral conductor, the green or bare wire is used as the ground conductor, and the black and red wires are used as the traveler conductors. The white wire is connected to the neutral terminal and the light fixture and to the neutral bus in the breaker panel. The green or bare wire is connected to the ground terminal and the light fixture and to the ground bus in the breaker panel. The black and red wires are connected to the traveler terminals and the two three-way switches. Using 14/3 wire for all travelers in a three-way switch circuit is the best way to ensure that the circuit is safe, reliable, and compliant with the NEC. It is always recommended to consult a qualified electrician when wiring or modifying electrical circuits. The electrician can help to ensure that the circuit is wired correctly and safely. Remember, electricity can be dangerous. Always take precautions to prevent electrical shock. A GFCI protected receptacle should only be installed at the first receptacle on the circuit for several reasons. Firstly, it provides the most effective protection against ground faults. By installing the GFCI at the beginning of the circuit, it can detect ground faults that occur anywhere downstream on the circuit. Secondly, it simplifies the wiring of the circuit. With the GFCI at the beginning of the circuit, it only needs to protect the receptacles downstream from it. This eliminates the need to install GFCIs at each individual receptacle. Thirdly, it reduces the cost of the installation. GFCIs can be expensive. By only installing one GFCI at the beginning of the circuit, the cost of the installation is reduced. Fourthly, it meets the requirements of the NEC. The NEC allows for the use of a single GFCI to protect multiple receptacles on a circuit. However, it requires that the GFCI be installed at the beginning of the circuit. When installing a GFCI protected receptacle, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions. The GFCI should be wired correctly to ensure that it provides the proper protection. It is also important to test the GFCI regularly to ensure that it is functioning properly. To test the GFCI, press the test button on the receptacle. This should cause the GFCI to trip, cutting off the power to the circuit. If the GFCI does not trip, it needs to be replaced. A GFCI protected receptacle is an important safety device. It can help to protect people from electrical shock in areas where water is present. Always ensure that GFCI protected receptacles are installed in accordance with the NEC and the manufacturer's instructions. Rectifying a wiring issue by disconnecting the neutral from a different circuit is a critical step in ensuring electrical safety. Connecting neutrals from different circuits can create dangerous situations due to potential overloading and unbalanced current flow. When neutrals are shared, the return current from multiple circuits flows through a single neutral conductor. This can overload the neutral wire, causing it to overheat and potentially start a fire. Additionally, if one of the circuits has a ground fault, the fault current can flow through the shared neutral, creating a shock hazard. To rectify this issue, the first step is to identify which circuits are sharing the neutral conductor. This can be done by tracing the neutral wires back to the breaker panel. Once the circuits are identified, disconnect the neutral wire from the circuit that is not supposed to be connected. Ensure that the disconnected neutral wire is properly capped off to prevent accidental contact. After disconnecting the shared neutral, run a new, dedicated neutral wire from the breaker panel to the affected circuit. This new neutral wire should be sized appropriately for the circuit's current carrying capacity. Connect the new neutral wire to the neutral bus in the breaker panel and to the neutral terminal on the affected circuit. Once the new neutral wire is installed, test the circuit to ensure that it is functioning properly. Use a multimeter to check the voltage and current on the circuit. Verify that the voltage is within the acceptable range and that the current is balanced between the hot and neutral wires. By disconnecting the shared neutral and running a new, dedicated neutral wire, the wiring issue is rectified and the electrical system is made safer and more reliable. It is always recommended to consult a qualified electrician when working on electrical systems. The electrician can help to ensure that the wiring is done correctly and safely. Running a new neutral wire from the panel to the kitchen ceiling light is essential for ensuring electrical safety and proper circuit operation. When a neutral wire is shared between different circuits, it can lead to several problems, including overloaded neutral conductors, voltage drops, and increased risk of electrical shock. To properly run a new neutral wire, start by turning off the power to the circuit at the breaker panel. This will prevent electrical shock during the wiring process. Next, run a new length of appropriately sized neutral wire from the breaker panel to the kitchen ceiling light fixture. The wire size should be determined based on the circuit's amperage rating as specified in the NEC. Connect the new neutral wire to the neutral bus in the breaker panel. The neutral bus is typically a metal bar located in the panel where all of the neutral wires are connected. Ensure that the connection is tight and secure. At the kitchen ceiling light fixture, connect the new neutral wire to the neutral terminal on the fixture. Again, ensure that the connection is tight and secure. Once the new neutral wire is connected at both ends, double-check all of the connections to ensure that they are properly made. Then turn the power back onto the circuit at the breaker panel. Finally, test the light fixture to ensure that it is working properly. Use a voltage tester to verify that there is voltage present at the fixture and that the light turns on and off as expected. By running a new neutral wire from the panel to the kitchen ceiling light, the circuit is properly wired and the risks associated with shared neutral wires are eliminated. This improves the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Remember to always consult a qualified electrician when working on electrical systems. They can help to ensure that the wiring is done correctly and safely.